In a row movement with the backing of US President Joe Biden, China was heavily criticized throughout the G leaders' communiqué, condemned both for undermining the global economy and for abusing human rights in Hong Kong and Xinjiang. With regard to China and competition in the global economy, we will continue to consult on collective approaches to challenging non-market policies and practices which undermine the fair and transparent operation of the global economy, the communiqué said. We will promote our values, including by calling on China to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms, especially in relation to Xinjiang and those rights, freedoms and high degree of autonomy for Hong Kong enshrined in the Sino-British Joint Declaration and the Basic Law. We are concerned by the use of all forms of forced labor in global supply chains, including state-sponsored forced labor of vulnerable groups and minorities, including in the agricultural, solar and garment sectors, it said. The G communiqué reiterated the importance of maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific, which is inclusive and based on the rule of law. We underscore the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, and encourage the peaceful resolution of cross-strait issues. We remain seriously concerned about the situation in the East and South China Seas and strongly oppose any unilateral attempts to change the status quo and increase tensions, it said. Biden said at a press conference on Sunday, "Last time the G met there was no mention on China in the communiqué and this time there is mention of China." The G explicitly agreed to combat human rights abuses in Hong Kong and in Xinjiang and to coordinate a common strategy to deal with China's non-market policies that undermine competition, and the G agreed to take serious action against forced labor in solar, agricultural and garment industries because that is where it is happening. He said there was plenty of action on China, so he was satisfied. Explaining how he got China to feature so prominently, he said, "I laid out what I thought was the need for us to be consistent to protect our economies too and see to it that other struggling economies got help they need and not held captive by other nations. We're in a contest not with China per fast, but a contest with autocratic governments around the world and whether democracies can compete with them in a rapidly changing 21st century, and I think how we act and whether we pull together as democracies will determine whether our grandchildren look back in 15 years' time and say, did they step up? I think you are going to see this straightforward dealing with China. I am not looking for conflict. Where we cooperate we will, but we are going to respond to actions that are inconsistent. China has to start to act more responsibly and transparently in terms of international norms and human rights because transparency matters across the world." He said he and other countries raised the issue of COVID origins at the G. Even the US intelligence agencies did not yet know whether the COVID virus originated in an experiment gone awry in a Wuhan lab, he said. The communiqué calls for a timely, transparent, expert-led, and science-based two-convened Phase 2 COVID-19 origins study in China. President Biden met Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Prime Minister Boris Johnson met in the margins of the G summit in Carbis Bay on Saturday when they agreed that the strategic context in the Indo-Pacific was changing and that there was a strong rationale for deepening cooperation between the three governments. Adblock test Y.